Hey everyone, welcome back. So, I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. I wanted to continue to talk about some of the costs that you will be facing here in Taiwan, and I really like to go into detail of each one. So, today I want to go ahead and cover the costs that you can expect if you live here for medical items. Now, that being said, extremely important disclaimer. None of this should be taken as professional advice. All of this is for entertainment purposes only. Please make sure to do your own research and consultation. This is only for entertainment. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So coming to Taiwan, you might want to understand two things. First of all, how exactly are doctors priced? How expensive is medicine? And the third one, how much does health insurance cost and how exactly is it rolled out? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down those three items, maybe even a couple other items as well as they come out. So let's go ahead and begin with the most basic thing, which is health insurance in the Republic of China / Taiwan. So in Taiwan, there is a national health insurance that everyone living in Taiwan, for the most part, must be enrolled in, with a few very, very special exceptions. This national health insurance basically charges a monthly amount depending on your status and who you are. Now, in general, it is a little bit different for everyone. Not everyone is paying the same amount of money. But for people that have been working in Taiwan for a long period of time and have been making a decent salary, you might be expected to pay around 1,000 to 1,500 Taiwanese dollars per month. For myself, personally, I'm paying about 1,500 Taiwanese dollars a month here in Taiwan for my national health insurance. So every month, this comes right out of my paycheck and given over to the correct bureau here in Taiwan. So for me, I'm paying about 1,500. But I would say for the majority of people, especially people that are just coming to Taiwan, you can expect to pay about 1,000 to 1,200 Taiwanese dollars per month, roughly in that category. So make sure that your employers, when you're working here, have you signed up for the health insurance and that these payments are being made. Okay, so roughly 1,000 to 1,500 for the national health insurance per month. Next, what about the copay? So in Taiwan, there are two different types of places to go to see a doctor. The first one, and where the majority of people go for just normal feeling ill situations, are clinics. Now, clinics are spread out through all of Taiwan and they can be found throughout the whole entire island. And basically, they're small little rooms. They're just not that big, and you can basically see them as you're walking across the streets. I'm putting up pictures here so that you can see what exactly they look like. They all have their own different specialities. Typically speaking, but not always, but typically speaking, each of these clinics cost about 200 Taiwanese dollars for each copay. So every time you go to see the doctor, expect to pay around 200 Taiwanese dollars to see the doctor. This 200 Taiwanese dollars will also typically include medicine as well. So you go and you see the doctor, you pay your 200 Taiwanese dollars, and then you will also get medicine that sometimes is there on the spot provided to you, or sometimes you'll be asked to go to a very close by pharmacy to pick up that medicine. Typically it's around 200. It could be a little bit more expensive depending on what you ask. Some medicine is not always covered by the health insurance, so it could be a little bit pricier than that. But I would say ballpark figure, 200 Taiwanese dollars is about right. Now, there is another option as well for a little bit more serious situations where people want to go to the hospital. Hospitals do not cost 200 Taiwanese dollars for copay, at least not normally. They're a little bit more expensive. On average, although there is no set fixed price, but on average, I would estimate hospital visits to be 330 to 350 to 400 Taiwanese dollars per visit. And these prices do vary from place to place, so please keep that in mind. So for the most part, I would say hospitals cost about double the price of a clinic, as a rough estimate. Now, hospitals are similar to clinics as well in the sense that you will also receive your medicine when you are there. Basically, you go, you select which department you want to see, and after you go through that visit, you will be prescribed your medicine, and typically there will be a pharmacy inside that hospital that you can go and apply and get that medicine as well. So that 400 to 450 Taiwanese dollars expense, give or take, will include the medicine to go with it as well. Now, with that said, hospitals do have a different type of visit that clinics do not have, which are known as emergency visits. The interesting thing about these emergency visits is that it is not necessarily that much more expensive than the regular visit that you would take to go to the hospital. Typically, these emergency visits, at least in my experience, have been around 450 to 550, maybe 600 Taiwanese dollars. But again, it really varies on why you are going to see the doctor and why you're going to the ER room. For me, it was always more minor issues, but I had to go during the night because I had certain stomach pains or I was feeling very unwell at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So your situation will vary. The more severe something is, it will certainly cost a lot more money. So please keep that in mind. Now, that I have kind of basically broken that down, I think it's important that I address the things that are not covered by health insurance here. So for the scope of this video, it would be very complicated for me to go through every single thing. So I just want to make sure that people understand that the national health insurance does not cover everything. There are additional costs and additional expenses that people must understand. For example, certain medicines will not be covered. Certain vaccines can be pretty cheap but can be expensive. Certain services might not be covered, so there will be a premium there. And there is such thing as supplementary insurance as well, where you have to buy extra insurance to get certain coverage of certain things. This is very much the case. So the national health insurance doesn't cover absolutely everything, but it does cover a big chunk and a big majority of the expenses. To kind of summarize this video, I would say if you're coming to Taiwan as a student or if you're coming here to work, I would put the total expenses, including the national health insurance, to be about 15,000 to 20,000 Taiwanese dollars a year. Maybe a little bit more depending on your salary or how often you're going to the clinics and the hospitals. Certainly it's an expense, but I think it's definitely a manageable expense, and I do think that for the most part, it's a service that is available and can definitely be used here in Taiwan. So with that being said, I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you can learn something, especially if you're planning on coming over to Taiwan, and I wish you all a very happy evening. See you all.